everybody, now that I've finished Naughty Dog's latest game in the franchise, I wanted to get these story beats and the ending off my chest. First things first, let's discuss that ending, shall we? Ellie, after living with Dina on the farm, decides to get revenge after getting PTSD attacks from Joel's death. We see Abby getting captured by a new group, the Rattlers. Oh, this fucking disgusting group. Ellie ruthlessly takes out most of this group, freeing the prisoners for the revolt. Also, keep in mind that Ellie has injured herself on the way to the base beforehand, so due to the trap that one of the Rattlers had set up. So she is very weak and she's limping by the time she gets to the beach. At this beach, we find several prisoners who try to escape, just rotting away from starvation. We finally get to Abby, broken and weak. Ellie lets her and Lev live, but is still getting PTSD from Joel's death. As this happens, she threatens to kill Lev if Abby doesn't fight her. Ellie overpowers her as all the emotions is bleeding out, just bleeding out everywhere. You know, bleeding out on the floor, all the emotions there. So, yep. So before she can even kill Abby, 2 of her fingers get bitten off, and then she loses, of course, her mum's switchblade from the first game. You know, you see it go in the water, and she's drowning Abby in just that fit of rage. Then she sees Joel on the porch, on the flashback, the day before he died, and then she suddenly forgives Abby once she sees Joel on the porch. What? This is nonsensical storytelling. Ellie kills all of Abby's friends and her dog on her quest, and suddenly, just seeing Joel in the flashback made her forgive Abby. Plus, she also bit her fingers off. Her adrenaline would be pumping in, and she would have killed her, no doubt, in a blind, fit rage. I understood the message they were trying to convey, that, you know, revenge is bad, or your actions can have consequences at times. I believe a better death would have been Abby and Lev having starved to death on the beach, as Ellie realizes this quest was for nothing, but just bring her the pain, regret, loss, and just really messing up her relationship with Tommy Miller, Maria, and most of all, Dina, her girlfriend. I also feel like with this ending, players would sympathize more with Abby and Lev, as we would see the hopeful quest to rekindle the remaining Fireflies from, you know, the last mission would be lost, and it would drive home just how quick one can die in this cruel world, or, you know, even get ambushed. Maybe we would also have scenes with Abby in the camp starving, having nightmares about all the wrong things she has done, you know, killing Joel, joining the WLF after the Fireflies instead of, you know, finding a new group or trying to find the remnants of these Fireflies. You know, just all the killings that she's done, because, you know, she's a lieutenant in the WLF, in the faction. So we'll actually see, yeah, we'll actually be able to care more about her as a character. Alright, you could also end the game with Ellie finding a note that Abby had on her, while the rest of the Fireflies are, or heading out. End the game with her on the boat, leaving to the Firefly camp. Alright, end. Post-credit scene, Fireflies will spot the boat. This leaves it up to interpretation. What happens to Ellie? Does she retake the operation, finally having a choice? That's important, guys. She's never had a choice in her life. From a kid to being a teen. I think she was 14 in the first one. She has never had, like, a major choice. Now, we're finally going to see her having more of a choice in the series. Now, and it also shows sympathy with Abby by continuing her quest for the Fireflies and understanding a little bit why she killed Joel. And yeah, she would finally let Joel go, just like in the original ending. She would forgive Joel and finally see, okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone out on this quest. Then we will have a second post-credit scene, which would include the flashback. Here we go, guys. I think it's important to have the flashback after the credits or in like a better scene. You could even have had the flashback when she got Lev and Abby down. I mean, there's many ways you could have done that. It was really bad timing. I don't think it really worked. Alright, yeah, so forgiveness and actions have consequences in this harsh world would be the main message at the end of the game for players. And then the Last of Us theme would play, the dun 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 dun, that sad theme from number 2. Alright, now let's get on to my next point. Joel's death. I think we can all say by the end of part 1 we started sympathizing with Joel's actions, or at least understood why he saved Ellie. Why he saved Ellie in the hospital. Abby gets saved by Tommy and Joel and... okay, sorry. Abby gets saved by Tommy and Joel and they recklessly walk into an ambush. I'm sorry, but Tommy is a cautious guy. He's a bit more kind than Joel, but he was overly cautious in the game, wasn't he? He was overly cautious. Joel, on the other hand, saw traps from a mile away. Being in this world for 20 to 25 years now, such as how he handles the hunter ambush scene in the first game. Before anyone tries to bring up that shitty 5-year excuse, sorry, but in 5 years, you don't lose 20 years of survival experience in this harsh world. Tommy even invites random people to visit Jackson without even thinking about his community, or the risk this would take. This is very illogical if you remember the first game. Maria clearly saw the intruders, Joel and Ellie in the first game, and was about to shoot them before Tommy told her to open the gates as he recognized his brother Joel. You do not have to destroy the older characters' personalities and motives to make us sympathize with Abby and seeing her as a good new character. Laura Bailey, she did a great job voicing her. She did a great job. No fault on the voice actors or actresses. This is all down to the script writing. In this rewrite, we would have Tommy saving Abby. She would feel very conflicted now, but she would hesitate and still join the camp, right? And she would still be on the lookout for Joel Miller, but she wouldn't know this is the right Joel. Okay, from here we would switch to Ellie meeting with Abby and showing her around the town. Ellie would head to bed and boom! Abby has blown up a house in town. Infected, hear the racket and come climbing the walls. From here, we would have Joel and Tommy fighting off the infected with Maria and bam, bam, bam! Abby's group would storm in and it's revealed that Abby has been planning this the whole time and she's figured out that this is the Joel. Let's just say this is after a day or two. Actually, yeah, let's rewrite that. It's been like a day or two and she's got the feel of this community. Okay. Yep. Okay, they storm in, taking Joel and Tommy as prisoner and knocking Tommy off the ground after he slits one of Abby's friends' throats. Ellie is shouting, "Joel!" While fighting some clickers up, she finally spots him and is running to him. Kapow! He's lying dead on the floor. Abby explains who she is beforehand, and just as Tommy is propped for the execution after Joel, we see 3 bloaters fucking storming in. Just hearing the fucking zombie noise. Now, with this beginning, Joel and Tommy they don't turn into weaklings. They don't make illogical choices. Ellie doesn't have time to grieve, and she gets knocked out beforehand. This is important. From here, Ellie and Tommy it's important because if she doesn't have time to grieve, she won't think properly, right? And she'll go out on this revenge quest. If she thinks more about it and the consequences, you know? Anyway, from here, Ellie and Tommy find out that after the ambush, Maria had her best fighters take out the infected. The town is safe, but now very vulnerable. So this time we would get Maria, Tommy, and Ellie going out for revenge. Before they head out, we would see the town of Jackson engaged in a town meeting. Tommy, Maria, and Ellie volunteer to spearhead the mission. And of course, this would be after they, they dig Joel's grave. Let's just say we see a scene of, of course, Tommy crying and shit. We would actually see Tommy crying for the first time. It would be painful as fuck. And yeah, we'd see Maria and all that, right? Yeah, and Tommy, Maria, and Ellie would spearhead the mission. Jessie and Dina also want to head out. However, Maria insists the township needs a defense against the infected, as the wall has been destroyed. And hands to start the rebuilding as well. I'll leave the rest up to you guys. That's just my interpretation and the way they should have done the intro. In my opinion, this intro was gripping. It didn't make Joel and Tommy retarded. And we actually got to see a little bit of the community. I feel like in the game we didn't see enough of Jackson. Anyway, I'll leave the rest up to you guys. It's very fan-fictionesque, but I'd like to point out I would not like to ruin the characters. I did not ruin the characters from the first game. Plus, I'm not a professional writer, so please don't blast me. Alright, please tell me your interpretations or how you would have liked the game to actually go. Yeah, so I personally give this game a 7 out of 10 as Naughty Dog improved on almost everything across the board except what counts, the storyline. Of course, we would still see Jessie and Dina join Ellie on the quest, but I'll leave it up to you guys how they would have gotten there. Like what plot point would you actually put them in to join? Yeah, so that's my rant. I'll cover factions if we get it, and we'll be doing a New Game Plus walkthrough eventually on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one. Staple out.